Welcome to Inside the Canopy Files, a production of Canopy Realtors Association in Charlotte, North Carolina. In this special edition of Inside the Canopy Files, we take you behind the scenes for a one-on-one interview between Tiffany Johnnes, the 2023 president of Canopy Realtors Association and Canopy MLS, and Marki Lemons-Rhyal. Marki was an educational speaker at the 2023 Realtor Expo held June 1st at the Charlotte Convention Center. Here's your host, Tiffany Johnnes.
Joining me now is Marki Lemons-Rhyal, one of our distinguished educational speakers. Marki Lemons-Rhyal is one of 100 speakers selected out of over 1,300 speakers to speak at Realtor Conference and Expo, 9 times, face-to-face and virtually, and an Inman closing keynote speaker. Matter of fact, I was able to hear you at the National Association of Realtors mid-year conference in May. And I also probably have heard you on NAR's podcast, Drive with NAR. Marki continuously receives high program evaluations, and I know our attendees today will be very energized by your message. Marki is a licensed managing broker, realtor, avid volunteer, major donor, and 6-time international best-selling author. Marki Lemons-Rhyal is dedicated to all things real estate. With 30-plus years of marketing experience, Marki has taught over 500,000 people face-to-face and virtually how to earn up to 2,682% return. Yes, you heard it, 2,682% return on their marketing dollars. Welcome, Marki, and we're looking forward to learning more about the emerging topic of AI, which stands for Artificial Intelligence and ChatGPT. Tell us more about your topic. Efficiency Boost, 13 ways to use AI and ChatGPT in real estate.
Well, Tiffany, thank you for having me. I am your girl, Marki Lemons-Rhyal, and right now I am in love with AI and ChatGPT. ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and I know as a realtor that means absolutely nothing to any of us. And so I wanted to break that acronym down. It actually stands for the fact that every single realtor has a productive, electrifying, trained assistant. That is what it stands for. And imagine having that trained assistant who has passed the bar exam, passed the medical exam, works 365 days a year, 24/7. All we need is internet connectivity. And so I am in love with my new educated, trained assistant.
How could you not be?
It has been a love affair since the first week I tried it. I tried it out the very first week of December. ChatGPT is the fastest growing tool in the history of the internet, which then means in the history of the world. There were over 1 million users within 5 days. Within 30 days, there were 100 million users. Within 60 days, there were 1 billion users of a platform because that is how powerful the tool is.
I know I've only hit the tip of the iceberg in what I've done, but I saved myself so much time on my recent vacation with my daughter. When I looked at things, I was like, how am I going to do that? And I was like, ChatGPT is going to help me here. And it made a huge difference very quickly. And so I know there are tons of things that we can do. But would you say realtors and real estate professionals can do to save time and increase their efficiencies as they learn AI?
In learning AI, I've told people to stop with the social media and technology, if nothing but for 30 days. And here's why. ChatGPT will help you with all of your sales and marketing. But before we get to our sales and marketing, I want us to go back to one thing that I think we should all have that most of us don't. I think we should all have a business plan. And I believe that we should all have standard operating procedures for our real estate businesses. So we want to pause. We now have this productive, electrifying assistant. Let's go back to the beginning. Let us set up our business plan and then our standard operating procedures that allow us to meet our business goals, and then bring it in for sales and marketing. Most realtors are utilizing it in order to write property descriptions, and I'm not saying we should not use it for that purpose. What I'm saying is that would be us going back to preschool when we can use this as a college tool.
That is true. There are lots of preschool, small things you can do on ChatGPT, but learning to go further and advance there is huge. What are some of the things that you think realtors should know relative to workflows and how to streamline things and get more done in less time?
In getting things done in less time, the core to me of any AI tool is your ability to write prompts. Prompts are instructions, and you don't even have to write prompts. You can deliver prompts orally. But the ability to, one, tell it how to act, and then tell it the tone in which you want it to act. The better the prompt you provide, the better the results you will receive. And so it is simple language. If I tell it to give me a chart of 10 ingredients to make chicken soup, right, and I want to lose weight, it will give that to me. Or I need to have ginger or turmeric in my diet, it will give me a ginger and turmeric recipe for everything in life. So when we come back and we start thinking about this as a tool, all we really need to know how to do is to provide great instructions. And the better the instructions we give, the better the results we shall receive. I don't want anyone to go back and have to know what artificial intelligence is. That is overwhelming. But I do want them to be able to articulate what it is that they need in their businesses. And if they can do that in writing and or orally, they will be successful in leveraging AI tools in their businesses.
That is so true. What are some of the things that you have used orally or written that prompt-wise have made a difference in your business instructions?
Well, let me talk about my son, Skylar. My son, Skylar, he's 27. He's a second-generation realtor. He is a commercial practitioner. So Skylar wanted me to write a campaign for him, an email campaign, and he wanted this campaign to go out to people age 60 and older because he works very well with people age 60 or older. And so when I initially wrote the campaign, I told it the tone that I wanted to be written in. However, I found the results to be offensive. And what do I mean by offensive? The very first thing it said is because you're getting older. Now, no one, right? I'm like, oh, my child career is over, right?
That would not have worked. I'm glad that
would not have worked.
Said, hey, hold up.
I said, hold up. I said, but it was like 3 offenses in 2 sentences, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to put him out of business. And so I had to sit for a minute and I said, what tone should I tell it to write in if he's 27 and he wants to go after expired campaigns to homeowners age 60 and older? And I made one change. I said, rewrite in a respectful tone. It took everything that I found to be offensive out of the initial results and made it says, you purchased your home in order to plant roots and grow a legacy. I said, oh, this will work, right?
That sounds great.
So we rewrote it, but we added respectful tone. So my instructions to the 27-year-old realtor was, every time you ask it to do something for you, you need to add the word respectful tone so that you will not offend anyone, period, regardless of their age.
That is so true. You can use artificial intelligence, but you need to check it. You need to make sure that it says what you think it says and that it makes sense, because if you don't, you could get yourself in trouble.
Yes. And the next thing, because we are realtors, and I've actually found this kind of offensive, we are cutting our work in half, at least, and we will not proof the content. So we are simply copying and pasting. So last night, I wrote a new class for an association. I can write a class now in a minute. Let me just be honest. I'm going to outright my competitors. And as I was reading, going back through this, right, I copied and pasted it into Grammarly, because most people don't know that Grammarly is artificial intelligence. But what Grammarly has in it is plagiarism checkers. So I bring it over to Grammarly. If you change the tone, the likelihood is you're going to reduce any plagiarism because it's going to change or paraphrase the words, right? What I copied and pasted last night, let's say it was 2,000 words. They stated that 7% of the 2,000 words were plagiarism. They showed me that there were 3 sentences that were previously on the internet in the same manner in which the AI had given it to me. I decided that I would edit those 3 sentences so I would have 0 plagiarism, but I only had 7%. So as a realtor, we have to adhere to license law. We have to adhere to the Realtor Code of Ethics. We have to adhere to fair housing rules and regulations in any content that we're posting, because according to the Code of Ethics, it states by technological means also, which means that we can't violate rules and regulations because it's AI and it's online.
We can't say that was the AI, not me.
No, you cannot get away with that. Absolutely not, which is why we want to proof it, but we also want to use tools that check it.
That's important. And Grammarly is huge. If our listeners are not using Grammarly in their everyday lives, they should be, and they should have been 5-10 years ago when it came out, because it is huge.
Let me say this, Tiffany. When I'm thinking about Grammarly, one of the things and how it has helped me, even though it's an AI tool, it tells me the tone in which I write every single week. We all get an email directly from them. I know that I have written 4.8 million words since September the 13th, 2015. And I know that the number one tone that I've always written in over 30% of the time is confident. So when I'm telling AI how to act in my likeness, I'm telling it the tone that I know that I write in.
That's fascinating. Really fascinating. I know you're very passionate in helping agents with AI, but you're also very passionate on helping them increase their ROI and their ROTI. Can you talk more about that?
So I am very focused on return on investment and return on time invested. And this actually came after I had the opportunity to pay the IRS off. I was in debt for over 6 figures to the IRS. I got out of debt, and I have been very focused on the numbers ever since. When we look at being an entrepreneur, some of us are entrepreneurs for the sake of saying we're entrepreneurs, but we're not looking at our net income. We're not looking at how we're planning to retire if we desire to retire. And so I operate my company at a 3% cost of goods sold and a 59.4% profitability because I want net income. I like living debt free. I pay my credit card bills off every single month because I understand the struggles. And as I aged, I wanted my life to look a certain way. So with that being said, I make the assumption that we all came into real estate to make a certain amount of money and that we all want to create a legacy. Mine was to get my sons. I wanted to feel like a stay-at-home mom, but earning above average income. And I was an unwedded mother for 9 years. When Skylar graduated from Howard University and me and my husband had no student loan debt, I knew that the goal had been accomplished, right? And so what goals do we want? What is our earnings per hour? Because once we know our earnings per hour, we get to tell people no. When we don't understand how much money we make and the value of our time, we're constant yes people. Because I know the value of my time, I am a consistent no person because that is not going to be the highest and best use of my time. So using these tools means I earn more money per hour.
That is so true. Knowing your value and knowing what you want to earn and what you deserve to earn per hour is huge in making those decisions because you will be a yes person unless you know that.
Yeah, everything. You want to do this? Yes. You want to do that? Yes. And let me say this. I'm coming to you straight from the Kajabi Hero Conference that was in Austin, Texas. Coming to you from that tool changed my life. How do I duplicate myself? How do I create Marki to the second power? It's actually a book, U squared, right? When I think about artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Descript, Midjourney, all these tools, I have now officially had my quantum leap, and I am Marki to the second power because of artificial intelligence.
That is incredible. And I'm sure you can now tell others how to become themselves squared.
You to the second. Could you imagine, Tiffany, if it was 2 of you walking around here?
And that would be incredible.
It would be, right?
Yes.
AI can give you Tiffany to the second power.
And I would love to see Tiffany to the second power. And so I am going to be a follower. with what I do today, if I could do that squared, it would be phenomenal. I think any realtor out there would say the same.
Yes, but we have to embrace the tools. I was reading a report actually yesterday. The Pew Charitable Trust stated that even though this tool is the fastest growing tool, only 14% of American adults are using it as a tool. And I have seen people talk to them about the tool. They understand that according to Goldman Sachs, over 300 million jobs will be impacted, but they aren't willing to take any action. And that's sad.
That is sad. I feel like I've hit the tip of the iceberg with AI, and I'm an avid learner and love to continually find ways to improve my processes and systems. And so I look forward to continuing to learn from you on that. As we look at how agents can help we've talked about how they can help figure out their tone, but how do you help figure out the personality of the people that you're connecting with and develop yourself out even further with that?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Tiffany. There's a tool called Humantic.ai. What Humantic.ai allows us to do is it can connect to your LinkedIn account, your Twitter account, or to your email account. It tells me the disc of the person I'm communicating with. So the first person you should do Humantic.ai on is yourself, right? And you can use the tool on 50 profiles for free. So I'm encouraging every realtor to try out Humantic.ai, especially when we look at several of the real estate companies. They're going to do a disc profile on the people that they hire, right? So now I know the personality of the people I'm doing business with, which now means that I can communicate with them in their preferred communication style. And I can tag their profiles in my customer relationship management system based on their personality.
That is incredible, because the majority of time I know realtors and any one individual communicate with people how they want to be communicated with, not how the other party wants to be communicated to and with. So that would be huge in general in terms of just the conversations we have every day and the messaging and how we put ourselves out there. What would you say are some of the latest tools that you've seen beyond the Humantic AI that make a difference in agents' lives?
Well, if you have been watching like Law and Order, CSI, all of these shows have deep fakes, okay? That means that they have essentially impersonated the voice and how the person looks with tools like Descript and also tools like Synthesia. So what I now have is a digital human avatar. She looks like me. She sounds like me. And I even gave her a name because I don't want to pass her off as me. She is Marki D. So I was born Marki Denise Lemons, and I don't carry Denise anymore because I'm now Marki Lemons-Rhyal. So my human avatar, she goes by Marki D, and she tells you she is the digital human avatar of Marki Lemons-Rhyal. And the reason how would we leverage this in our business? I can have ChatGPT to write a script in my tone. I can take that script and put it into Descript to give you my audio likeness. And I can take the audio likeness and drop it into my visual likeness. And now we can have automated videos, whether this is going to be on YouTube or any of the other channels. And at the end of the day, you give a disclaimer to who your avatar is, but it really means that I can now outsource any audio and video of myself if that's what I desired to do, to be consistent in my content creation.
That is incredible, as video continues to be a huge piece of how you market and how you share information. But the majority of people say, I'm so afraid of video. It takes me so long. I might do 100 takes before I get it right, or they just never do it. How long does it take to get to the level to where you had Marki D?
Oh, you know what? It actually took the fact that I needed to allocate the time to just sit down and learn it. And so I self-taught myself most of what I know on artificial intelligence and ChatGPT through YouTube videos, through books, and then through a group called learnprompting.org. So my goal was to become a prompt engineer, and becoming a prompt engineer adds value to anything that I'm doing. Actually, prompt engineers are already being compensated $325,000 per year for a occupation that essentially did not exist last year this time. And so I would say that I taught myself in about 3 hours how to create the digital avatars. And so now when I send a video to an association, it is the digital avatar version of myself, because I don't have to get ready. I don't have to have I don't have to make a perfect script. The joy is I'm typing the script in, I'm putting it into this voice, I'm putting the voice into, get this, I don't even have to have my visual likeness on Synthesia. Another tool that I'm using is Studio DID. My videos lately have been photos. One picture, and it now becomes an animated bobblehead. And here's what else is crazy. Studio DID is now an app inside of Canva.
Wow. I use Canva and I saw something come across and I have not looked into it yet, but that is amazing.
Yes.
And what I'm hearing you say is that you have put many hours into AI, but you took 3 hours of your time. You didn't sit on Facebook or Instagram, which a lot of agents probably spend 3 hours a day just scrolling through social media. They could be spending that time to learn to create a tool that's going to propel their business and make a difference in their lives.
Yes. And let me tell you the one way that I do plan to use that tool. It's not even in my real estate business. I have another company, the Kitchen Direct Company, that's a high ticket e-commerce site. My husband and my sons are going to be the face of that company. I am now creating their digital human avatar so that I can create the marketing for the company, and I don't ever have to argue with them about creating video content or providing me content, because I have their visual likeness, their audio likeness. I'm going to create the content for the company without having to argue with them about doing it.
Yeah. That is incredible.
Yeah, keep the family together, right?
Yes. What are some other AI tools that you think are important for agents to know about?
Well, besides the fact of ChatGPT, because I do use the paid version of that, the reason I use the paid version is because I wanted access to ChatGPT 4. That means that I have a Bing plug-in. ChatGPT is only trained on all things on the internet up until 2021. When I do a search now using the Bing plugin, I'm getting the most up-to-date information. Also, apartment.com, Zillow, they all have a plug-in to the ChatGPT 4. So I can run a Zillow report and have access to the full website. Also, for those who don't necessarily want to pay or spend money, but I do believe that we should plan to pay for AI to get the best version of AI. I am also using Bard, B-A-R-D, which is the Google tool. Love it. And I use Bing as a standalone tool. So not only do I have Bing plugged into ChatGPT, I also use Bing as a standalone tool and a handful of Chrome browser extensions. So now when I do a Google search, it's infused with AI or ChatGPT-like content. So just getting familiar with those. And then Canva, we talked about it. Canva has 12 AI tools already infused. So you can do translation. You can use their Magic Write tool. You can actually come over to Magic Write, say, give me 5 tips to sell a home faster, click one button and convert your Word doc into a PowerPoint. So I'm using Canva consistently because I love Canva, and I use the paid version of that as well. What I'm telling my fellow realtors, if it was one tool that they were going to pay for, I'm telling everybody it should be Canva, because Canva gives you a little bit of everything in one place. It's a reliable tool. It has a $26 billion valuation. And when I tell you they're consistently updating every single week for at least the last 3 years, Canva has infused something new into Canva, and they have not gone up on the pricing.
It is amazing. I use Canva every day as well. It took me a while to get our CFO to switch over to using Canva from using PowerPoint. And once he did, he'll never go back. I think it took me 45 to 60 days of saying, you've got to try Canva. You've got to try Canva. And that is the one product that I love, that is so easy to use. And again, just hitting the iceberg, what you can do with it and how you can help create your business in a faster pace is tremendous.
Most definitely. Last Tuesday night, I had 171 realtors on a Canva AI webinar that was scheduled for 3 hours that we did not get off until after 10. So that means it went over 4 hours because of all the questions they had just on Canva AI. Not even just Canva. I have 12 hours of that education, but just on the 12 new AI tools in one platform.
That is simply amazing. What are some things that our agents can do to get started? Oftentimes, the hardest thing is taking that baby step. And it sounds like signing up for Canva Pro might be what you think they should do.
And you know what? I don't think they even have to sign up for the Canva Pro. When we look at all of the 12, when we look at the 12 AI tools that are inside of Canva, Canva lets you try every last one of those tools 25 times without signing up. So what I want to recommend that they do today, because we want to get them out of the excuse zone, is to go to Canva, try each of the 12 AI tools for free, see the impact that they're going to have on your life, and then sign up. I don't want this to be a barrier, and sometimes cost can be a barrier. We just need you to try. This is the no excuse zone. I used to tell people that technology would never replace a realtor, but a realtor with technology will replace one without it. Today, I want you to be clear. I do not believe that AI will replace a realtor, but I do believe that a realtor with AI will replace a realtor without AI. We need to take a look at the top real estate organizations in the world: CoreLogic, Zillow, Redfin, Compass. They all have AI. We need to look at the National Association of Realtors and their REACH program. They have numerous AI tools. I was in Canada last week, and I had the opportunity to see the Canadian REACH pitch several AI tools. It is here. And if we don't embrace it and leverage it in our business, someone is going to charge us more money for us to implement it. Now is the time to implement these tools and to become an active lifelong learner.
That is great advice. Not putting your head in the sand, not focusing on social media, but going to the free tools that AI has to offer. Oftentimes free starts with one piece, and AI is really not a squirrel. Oftentimes in real estate language, we think about all the squirrels that are out there, the fancy objects that we can chase and spend money on. AI gives you the ability to test it, to try it, to figure out how it's going to work with your business and help make you a better person, and hopefully to make you yourself squared.
Yes. You to the second power.
I love that. Well, thanks so much, Marki. And I look forward to learning more about AI and ChatGPT as you share with us today. It's been a pleasure to talk with you today, and I've learned a lot, and I hope our listeners will too.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Could you give me your name and tell me who you're representing here today?
Yeah, my name is Savannah, and I'm representing Lighthouse Visuals. We're a real estate photography company that's coming to the expo today.
Fantastic. And so how are you finding the expo today, just in general?
You know, I was a little bit skeptical. This is the first time that we've ever put on a booth like this, but we're actually enjoying it. We're socializing with the real estate agents, but also the other vendors, and we're developing really strong, great relationships, getting our name out there. We're even meeting some of the clients we've been working with for years. It's absolutely fantastic. We're really enjoying it.
So if I'm listing my house, why should I hire a company like Lighthouse instead of just taking my iPhone around and taking photos of my house because I'm a great iPhone photographer?
Yeah, there's a lot of agents out there who do prefer to do that with their listings. However, with, you know, our photography, it's HDR, it's really high quality. The pictures are going to come out looking great. You're going to get a higher listing offer for your house, you know, more viewings, and then agents who use us can, you know, present their brand in a different way. You know, people are going to see like, oh, your house looked great. Who did you use? I want to use her because the pictures looked incredible. It didn't look anything like the house. It's, you know, it's pretty simple in our opinion. You know, sometimes we do really have to convince agents, you know, make the switch from their cell phones, because cell phones do great pictures these days, but they're still not as good as, you know, our photographers in the field and our editors and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Are you all a Charlotte company, locally based?
So we started in Greenville, North Carolina about 5 years ago, and we have expanded to Charlotte. We've been here about 3.5 years. We've got 2 photographers who work the area, Jordan and Tyler, absolutely great. We cover the entire state of North Carolina, all the way from the beach to Charlotte, and we're constantly expanding. We've got 2 guys work for us in Virginia now. So we like to present ourselves as we are, a small but powerful team. We really are about 30 people total, do a lot of good work.
And if somebody wants to hire you or work with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, they can go to our website. It's lighthousevisuals.com. And put in an online form request. There's also all the contact numbers they need to schedule with us. And we also have some first-time client offers that will give you some discounts on your services. So we do that so we can show everyone the best that we have to offer, a discounted rate for the first one.
Wonderful. Last question here. For people who couldn't be at the expo today, whether they be realtors or other vendors, like yourself, what would you say to them about why they should come out next year?
From my perspective, we didn't know what to expect. Them come out here and meet people who they had no idea services they could use, or just other vendors that might do a slightly better job than what they're used to. I think, constantly learning the expos that have gone on today and the speeches and stuff like that, just constant valuable information, and socializing with other agents too, and just expanding your field and stuff. So I would come. If I were an agent, I'd come.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode of Inside the Canopy Files, presented by Canopy Realtor Association in Charlotte, North Carolina. Connect with us online at carolinahome.com.